Thanks, Chrissy, and thanks to the organisers. It's great to be here. Look, we've got a really exciting story. I'm going to tell you a bit about Ballymore today. If I'll make this thing work. Look, as a bit of a starting point, Ballymore is a relatively new company. It listed about 2 years ago. Our focus is very much in North Queensland. When we started to look for ground, we thought this area had a great deal of potential. In the early 90s, there was a lot of majors exploring this area, and there was a lot of success. In the latter part of the 90s, though, most of those majors left, and the amount of work that's really carried on after that has been quite limited. And we feel there's a real opportunity to explore this area, which really hasn't had a lot of good modern exploration for a good 30 years. We have 4 projects in the North Queensland. Up the top near Cairns, we have the Mount Molloy project. We have the Ruddy Gore project in the old Chillago mining district, the Ravenswood project in the Charters House gold area, and our flagship project down near Proserpine is the Ditmar project. As a company, we're very fortunate. We are, I've heard a few people say how well cashed up, and we're also very fortunate to be well cashed up. We managed to raise $11.1 million in November last year, and that included $7.5 million, which will go directly into Ditmar through a royalty agreement with Taurus, who've been a fantastic supporter for us. In addition, it says that we have $2.1 million of cash. That was primarily because the $7.5 million for the royalty only came in early April. In fact, we've at the moment got slightly under $10 million. Directors have 32% of the stock, and it's a very tightly held company. But look, there's a lot of real interest, and as things are growing day by day. Because of time, I'd love to talk about all 4 of our projects in detail. It's fair to say we love all 4 of them. They're very exciting projects. The ones I won't be talking about today are the Ravenswood project. It's a really exciting project in that Charters Towers district, a prolific gold mining area. We've got a number of really exciting targets. Our first drilling there, we actually intersected 40 metres at a gram from near surface. We've got a bunch of really exciting Bretts and gold-hosted targets. An area that we're planning to drill a little later on this year is a high-grade gold and silver target that's reported up to 127 grams gold and 7,100 grams silver. Our Ruddy Gore and Mount Molloy projects are both copper projects. The Ruddy Gore project has shallow copper, a very significant shallow copper target. Our first drilling into that actually reported up to 86 metres at 0.5% copper from surface, and we're planning to go back and do a lot more work on that. Mount Molloy is an old historic copper mine that averaged about 9% copper when it operated. But today I'm going to talk about the Ditmar project. It's a really interesting high-grade gold project that was operated up until 1950, and it's a really exciting target. We picked up the Ditmar project about 3 or 4 years ago. Historically, this area was a significant gold mining area in the 1880s and 1890s and early 1900s. Most of the mines in the area are quite shallow, but they're known for their very high grades. Some of the mines report production records up to 560 grams per tonne. Ironically, one of the last major mines found in the area was the Ditmar project, which is actually held under a mining lease bias. It was founded in 1930 and operated through to about 1951. During its life, it averaged 151 grams per tonne gold, or 5 ounces a tonne. In addition, it has some very impressive silver and almost 3% copper with it. We picked up this ground because we felt there was a real opportunity to come in here. It's remarkably underexplored. Hardly any modern exploration has been completed in this area, and we saw a real opportunity to come in and turn this into something very significant. One of the first things we did in this area was to reopen the old mine. This has been an absolute godsend for us. By doing that, it's allowed us to get up close and personal with the actual mine. We've been able to sample it, map it. We've reported channel samples up to 264 grams gold and 5% copper. And also, most fortunately for us, it's also allowed us to drill from underground, saving us hundreds of metres of drilling every drill hole. And so it's saving us time, money, and it's also, by putting a roof over our head, it's also allowed us to drill over the wet season. We started drilling this year in January, and a week later, Cyclone Kirrily crossed the coast north of us. We didn't lose a single day to weather, and it's been a fantastic way of approaching this and allows us to do a lot of work and save us a lot of money and time. One of the first questions, obviously, for us when we picked up this project is why, if you're mining 5 ounces of a tonne gold, would you stop at about less than 200 metres depth? Our early drill holes, first 2 holes, answer that question. It appears that the lode had been sheared out at depth, but fortunately for us, something the old timers didn't realise was that it had actually just been thrown up beside the old mine, and the actual lode is within 30 metres of those existing workings. This is a really exciting opportunity for us due to its proximity to the old existing workings, because we are literally within 20-30 metres of it in our existing drives that we're drilling from. The actual lode itself is typically was hand sorted by the old timers, and that's how they achieve those grades. But that in itself is also an opportunity. The backfill material that was actually thrown back in there, we've sampled it, and it's returned between 4 grams per tonne and 82 grams per tonne, and in itself is a really exciting opportunity. Our drilling to date, we've completed 42 holes into this new structure, this newly discovered lode. And we've got some spectacular results, 4.3 metres at 29 grams per tonne, and in there 2.25 at 55. The hits keep coming with this one. It's really exciting, and it remains open along strike and down dip. We've just released, yesterday, we finally got some more results from the most recent drilling program, and some spectacular results in here. 2.9 metres at 16, including 0.9 at 51, 3.15 metres at 9, and in there's 35 centimetres at 79. 1.8, 12.85, and the ones from yesterday, 3 metres at 19.5 metres, and in there's 1.2 metres at 19 grams and 0.4 at 55. 34, 3 metres at 19.5, including 1.2 at 48, 3 metres at 16.7, and then there's 58. And our last hole, 40, that came in that program, 8 metres at 8.35 grams, and in there's 4.8 at 13.6 and 0.3 at 193 grams. The thing that's really pleasing for us is in that deeper holes, those last 2 holes are 2 of our deepest holes to date, and we've intersected broader intersections. As we drill deeper, we're seeing the lodes getting wider, and we're also seeing more copper in them, and that's a really exciting opportunity there. Drilling to date has literally drilled that. We've only completed drilling on where that little red bar is. It's really, we've only tested about 200 metres of strike length, and we're finding a lot of gold there. The continuity of the structure is spectacular. We're getting fantastic grades consistently. And now the most exciting part of that is through field work that's been completed last year, we've also demonstrated there's a lot more to the system than just that little mine. The main lode, the duff lode, you can clearly see running through that area along strike from the old mine, and we've defined it for at least 2 kilometres at this stage, and it remains open. It's really constrained by where we've sampled to date. There are a number of other exciting lodes in there. We've got just completed clearances. We're preparing drill sites in 2 weeks' time. We'll be out there drilling and drilling the surface extent. And we're expecting in the coming weeks and months to be able to demonstrate that this structure and these targets extend 1 kilometre, 2 kilometres out, and then we become a company looking for a major multi-million ounce deposit. We're also very fortunate to have received 2 grants this year from the state government. One was for $300,000 to fly a detailed magnetic survey over Ditmar, and that's basically about to commence in the next 3 weeks as well. The addition of this detailed magnetic data set will help us greatly with targeting in this area, and it's going to be a very gratefully received additional data set. In addition to that, on one of our other projects up at Chillago, we received $300,000 to do an airborne EM survey to target a 20-kilometre belt of highly prospective ground there, and we expect some really exciting news to come out of that as well. So look, in summary, we've got a really exciting group of 4 projects. Our primary project is Ditmar. Ditmar is a high-grade gold project, but we believe it's part of a much, much larger system. We're expecting the final results from our last underground program to be in the coming weeks, and we're literally about to start drilling in geophysics. Lots of exciting news to come, and just watch the space. Thank you for your time.